great because I pay $10 a month or whatever that is, and I'm able to listen to your stuff last night because
Yeah.
I don't know any of your music, or and thousands of other musicians. So for a marketing tool point of view, is the best thing that ever happened, right? For you as the producer, as the owner of the right, you get 1 cent every 1,000 hits or whatever the amount
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what's happening everywhere. Everything's gone to subscription. Television is almost gone.
Yeah,
Radio is almost gone. If you want to listen to music, you open an app on your phone or in your car or on your computer, and you're on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon MP3 or Tidal. If you want to watch a movie, you open your TV and you're either on Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Discovery Plus, whatever. Everything is subscription based. So you pay $10 a month to like 10 different people. You pay $100 a month to the world, and you get to consume whatever you want, whenever you want. So it's like more.
yeah,
But I don't think that's going to sustain forever. But we'll see.
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. For me, I was doing that before the pandemic, and I needed to slow down, and I was doing a lot of stuff that I didn't like, and I was going too fast, and I didn't have the time to think about it, and like they say here in the United States, smell the roses, you know. So you need to slow down and then see, you know, what's important to you with your family, what would you like to do, what the goals eventually all will leave this planet or whatever, and then
I
do
love
what you
that.
like, do what you like, and be happy with it, and do something positive and important in the world. It's not
We'll
just money.
see.
So
Everything you just said is the concept of in.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely right. Yeah,
and we live in a very noisy world. Everywhere you go is noise. In the media, on television, in movies, the radio, the internet is full of noise. And we're not meant to be constantly bombarded by colors and images and sounds, and
absolutely.
we're not quite ready for it, and it's causing damage, I think, to some people. So for me, what you said is absolutely true. I thrive on silence,
Yeah,
space, connecting with people I love, focusing on one single thing and not hearing anything else, and
absolutely.
one sound, just the piano, respond to it, quiet time, breathing. And I put all of that into this album because the concept of this album is about going in to tiny places and realizing that you don't need all the noise. All you need is this one little thing that you think is beautiful, and you could focus on that. And in that small thing is a universe of inspiration. And the cool thing is, so far, everyone that is sending me messages, hundreds of people, are loving this album, and they're putting on their headphones and putting their phones down
Yeah.
and not multitasking, and they're experiencing the music, and they're getting lost in it. And I think that is the best compliment I could ever get.
Absolutely. Later on, we'll talk about the album in, but I will add the end. I will add now, in the sense that people don't live the now. People live in the past. Man, I wish I had done that. You know, why I did that on the talking about the future. Man, I would love to do this. I would love to do that. Why I didn't do that. Just live the present. People don't live in the present, man. That's my take on the stuff. You know,
You nailed it right there. Most people are thinking of the future. Someday when I retire, I could travel and see the world. Someday when I'm not so busy, I could learn how to play guitar. Someday I can go visit Hawaii. Someday I can do this. Or, you know, I'm doing this right now, but I don't want to be doing this right now. I want to be doing something else. So many people are driving around in their car, but they're not even in the car. They're in their mind somewhere else
somewhere else.
where they want to be, and they're not being present. And not only not being present for those around them, they're not being present for themselves. It's okay to have goals and ambitions and to look to the future, but that future doesn't exist. It hasn't happened. It's not going to happen how you think it is. And the past is gone. All we have, you and me, Claudio and David, right now at 9:57 a.m., this is all we have.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
The next minute hasn't happened, and the last minute we can never get back. So I think just knowing that and realizing that each moment is a gift, and in each moment is unbelievable magic, that think you can sit really well with yourself and be content and happy and love where you are. That's a powerful notion, and it's difficult for people, especially Americans.
Say something in psychological terms. People, maybe they don't love one another. I don't know. I don't know. We live in a crazy world, man. It's,
yes, I agree. But it's a crazy world full of magic and wonderful things. It's a crazy world full of horrors. It's what you choose to focus on and embrace that makes who you are and how you walk through your day and your life and the people you interact with and the art that you make.
Yeah.
Like you're sharing your love for music with all these people. You're choosing to find magic and share it with the world. And there's so many people looking for what you are doing. And
it's a lot, like you say, you produce your music for yourself, but finally for everybody, right? So you got to do what you like, and if you can contribute to the world, like you mentioned before, right? I'm the type of person, one day I'm going to be 86, whatever, and I want to look back in my life, man, I did exactly what I want to do. I saw thousands of shows. I got a beer with Peter Gabriel at 3 o'clock in the morning, a club in London, or Eric Clapton, or whatever. I don't want to wait for or make time for. No, I'm doing it.
You got it.
I do what I like. I do what I like, and I will continue. That's what I study. I thought at the time, well, I have expensive. My wife would say I have expensive taste because I spend a lot of money in music and concerts. So I study a lot. So now I can afford to do whatever I want. Fly to Europe 4 times a year, and I saw the last 3 shows of Genesis in London a couple months ago. Last month I went to see Eric Clapton at the Royal.
Wow! See, you're living.
Of course, you gotta do that.
And when you're at the concert, in every note of every song, that's where you are, and it fills you up. And I feel like you do. And in my big album, people kept asking me why it takes so long. Why is it so big? Why is every song so rich? And I said that I want to make this like it's my last album.
Absolutely, man.
If I'm not here tomorrow, I'm going to be like, I made 8 records and I made the most amazing music and I put it out in the world, and thousands of people are having their lives changed because of my music.
Absolutely.
Good. I'm good.
Feel free to elaborate your collaboration with John Jenkins. I think you did 3 albums with him.
Trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, Treasure, Beyond Words, and The Crossing and Found. And I didn't know him that well. And so I ended up listening to the music, and, John Jenkins by himself, right? And then I saw the album. I listened to the album that you guys did together. Different tracks. It was a very good compliment. I mean, it works well, the 2 of you. Because I listened to your stuff by itself, John's stuff by himself, and then the 2 together. I see the influence, and it came out very good together. How you end up meeting the guy, and
thank you.
How did it work out? Yeah.
Well, when I got signed to the record label, he was already part of the record label. And so, in the late 90s, the record label had a headquarters at a house here near the beach, and all the artists were there, and they have desks set up and people on the phones, and they're a record label, but the artists would go there, and they had a recording studio at the record label. So I met John Jenkins, I listened to his music, and I had immediate connection with John Jenkins as far as the sounds that we both liked. And then we were asked to score a film together. A filmmaker in Los Angeles was a fan of John Jenkins and a fan of David Helpling in 99, I think, or 2000. And he said, I want you guys to score my film, but you have to do it together in the same room. And this guy's name was Chris Cummings. So he hired us to score his film, but he said the only way you do it is if we did it together. So I sat next to John Jenkins in the studio in Encinitas, and we scored this film, and it was explosive because I have all these ideas. He has all these ideas, but we're both very, we have no ego, and we're not trying to, we're just like, hey, let's make it together. And everything he liked, I liked. Everything I liked, he liked. So during this film scoring process, we created all this music that was way too amazing for the movie. So we put it aside. We finished the movie, and all that music ended up becoming Treasure, which was our first album together.
Yeah.
And then that was a huge success. Treasure, you know, David Helpling, John Jenkins, Treasure was this big thing. So then it became time for another sophomore album. They're like, okay, you guys have to make a sequel together. So then we did The Crossing, which ended up being, I think of the trilogy, The Crossing is the big one. And then we did Found, which is also really huge. And making those 3 records was the most effortless experience I've had making music. Because if I'm having an off day, or if I come up with a phrase or something and I don't know if it's good enough, there's someone else to say, hey, that is good. Just record it, put it in there.
I can work with that, and then
yeah. When I'm by myself, I spend a lot of time wondering, is this good enough? I don't know. It could be better, and you get in a spiral of self-doubt, and that's why I had to put the record away, because I was way too close to it. I couldn't see what it really was. I had to get away, come back, and go, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Why are you being so critical? Just let the music be amazing. And that is the gift of collaboration, is having that someone next to you to tell you that what you're doing is great. So yeah, those 3 records were effortless to make.
Absolutely, man. So what do you think your inspiration to create sounds which is totally your own, as if you're making music without compromise, if you will, come together? So it's very easy to we will talk about that in a minute. It would have been very easy for you to give up, do commercial work is easy money, or do another soundtrack is easier. But that was a project that you needed to finish. I'm not finishing this month or 6 months from now. It take me 2 years, but eventually you finish it. Where you think of the inspiration come from to keep on working hard, to wake up in the morning and you say, well, today I'm not going to work in the album, but you wake up the next day and say, man, okay, I have an idea, or in my dreams, or whatever, it's a beautiful day, whatever, I want to work with stuff. Where is the motivation, the inspiration as an artist in many ways come from?
I think that's the good question. I think it is 2 things. I think motivation and inspiration are opposite sides of a coin. I can be inspired to do something, but to step out and do it takes the motivation. And my inspiration comes from everything. I'm always inspired. Never do I not have an idea. Never do I sit down and I'm bored. Never do I sit down at the piano or a synthesizer and guitar and I don't like what's happening. I have millions of ideas and I have grand visions, but you have to be really motivated to take these little ideas that might be 30 seconds long and turn them into a symphony. That takes a lot of work. For me, years of work. So the motivation for me is just the goal of saying, I'm going to create this great grand opus of an album and I'm going to release it. I don't know when. And the years kept going by and I kept working on it. But I knew I was just going to do it, because I'm the kind of person that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And all my friends know. They're like, hey, how's the album coming along? You've been working on it for a long time. And I would play them bits of it and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best music I've ever heard. You have to finish your album. So having my wife be very supportive and my friends be very supportive lets me know that I'm on the right track. Because I think if I was just in here with the door closed all the time, I wouldn't have those people cheering me on and telling me that it is a great work. So it's all of those things keeps me going.
Instead of you finding music, perhaps the other way around. Perhaps music found you in life.
True. Well, I don't read music at all. I taught myself how to play guitar. I taught myself how to play piano. I taught myself how to program and play synthesizers. I taught myself how to play drums, how to be a recording engineer. It's taken a long time, 22 years or whatever. But I think that now that I'm here, when I play an instrument, I'm not thinking, if I'm in a flow state, I'm not thinking, play this chord. I put my hands down and I hear something and my hands start moving and I go, oh, and I hear the next part coming in. Do this, do this. It's almost like the music is just going through me into the instrument. I'm not conjuring it in my mind. It's coming from my heart. It's just flowing out. And then later on, when it's time to produce the song, I can get a little cerebral about it. But when I'm writing, it comes from my core. It's just flowing out. and I just record everything, and then later figure out all the best stuff and put it together.
I got you. Last night I was able to listen to, I think, 7 or 8 albums, and it's just some tracks, if you remember, that for me were important. I connected with them, if you remember. But the Sunraiser from the album called Found.
Yeah.
La Oreja pieced it together, if you remember.
Yeah, Sunraiser's
yeah.
Sunraiser's a big one. That's my favorite song from Found, which was the third album in the trilogy with John Jenkins. Yeah. Thank you. That was fun. That was a fun one to make.
The other one is called Above All from the album called The Crossing.
Yeah, Above All. That's a very simple song that started with those 2 synthesizer chords, and then it just grew with guitars and other sounds. And that was John Jenkins and I sitting together. That song, Above All, John Jenkins had a phone call, and he was on the phone, and I played 2 chords. And he goes, "What did you just play?" And I go, "I don't know." He goes, "Record that." That's where the song came from.
Wow.
If he wasn't here, I would have played those 2 chords and never thought about it.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
Synchronicity right there.
Mm-hmm.
On this Burning Sky from the album Colleen, man, what a masterpiece it is, man. You don't know how good that song is, man.
Thank you. That was the big one on In, and that took a lot of work. It started with the guitar riff.
Yeah.
I was playing this riff, and I was like, I heard in the riff the sadness, but also anger and a little exotic, like Eastern. So I said, I'm going to put in, I played a bunch of drums, and I wanted Nitty to come in, do vocals. And then I had this grand story with the verse, the chorus, and the bridge, and then this big epic part. And it turned into almost like a soundtrack for something that doesn't exist, you know? So it's really cool that you connect with that song.
Beautiful. Let's concentrate on that album. And we already know where the meaning behind the title of the album, but and you play with so many vocals and vocalists there. It's playing all the instrument. That's a masterpiece, man. No wonder that it took whatever 8 years. And it's no Ray, and eventually you say, no, it's Ray. I can release it to the world, and that's a beautiful album, man.
Thank you. It's really cool to hear you say that, and that you listen to it and you recognize what is there. That's very.
What have been the reception of the public or people on the Spotify Peccary or the people that you sell the music to? Or I'm quite sure you have great reception from the public, right? So,
yeah, well, it's been out. It was released on April 15th. So what's it been? 7 weeks, 6 weeks? Hasn't even been 2 months yet, but everyone is loving it. Everyone's freaking out. I'm getting hundreds of messages on my email, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and my YouTube channel. You know, you see a video on YouTube and it has like 50,000 views, but it has like no comments. I'll have like 10,000 views and 100 comments, and every comment is gushing like, "You changed my life. This song made me cry." Boom, boom, boom. So
awesome.
That's how I know it's good music, is because people are getting emotional and they're reaching out and messaging me. Yeah. So I'm already like the album is already way successful for me, no matter what the numbers are. Doesn't matter.
I want to give you the title for your next album, if you like. If you like, In, you know, we can do something like Now, or
Now,
you know, Inside Out, or Outside In, or whatever, you know.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
From the outside world to in, man.
Yeah. I'm working on a lot of new projects right now, but I'm spending most of my time promoting and supporting In, because it's the big album, and I want to make sure I put as much support behind it as I can. Doing interviews with people like you, making music videos, interacting with people on social media. Yeah. Because that's how people hear about it. And I want this album In to reach as many new ears as I can. And the cool thing for me is, because this is my 8th studio album, I have a lot of listeners that have been following me for 20 years. They all love this album. But then I'm getting new listeners that are younger. Because, you know, my listeners from the past are probably my age, you know, not young. But I'm getting these younger listeners that are discovering this music, and they don't even understand what kind of music is this. Yeah. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know what kind of music it is either. it's David Helpling music, and if you like it, cool. But I think because of the way music is now, all the new music, I think music like this is being embraced and discovered by young people, and
Absolutely.
that is amazing, because it's a whole nother generational shift of people that are discovering what used to be called new age or electronic or alternative or whatever.
Yeah,
They're eating it up. They love this stuff.
absolutely, man. I also some of the messages that I read from the videos and some of the tracks and YouTube last night. People get very emotional and stuff. I don't know. I want to make something up. I was going to a breakup with my boyfriend, or my mom is dying out of cancer,
Yep.
or whenever I break up with my dad, or this, or I lost my job. And people really resonate with that stuff. I mean, it's like they take it personal. I mean, your music inspired me to this. Your music inspired me, helping out, taking care of my old sibling or whatever.
Yeah, there are many, many, many stories. And, you look at one of the YouTube videos and there's like 100 comments, and each comment, a lot of them are like this. I was driving from up to the mountains and I heard this song and I had a religious experience and awakening, or I just lost my father and this particular song really helped me through that, or, whatever. But it's almost like this album is therapy for some people. And I take that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
I didn't make the music to have any agenda, but each song has a lot of emotion, and each song has a lot of resonant energy in it. And it's cool that people are connecting with that, whether it's on headphones or big speakers. It's vibrating them and they're feeling something.
I'm quite sure you must get emotional when you read the comment and the stuff that they're very personal comment. I was, I've been diagnosed of cancer, whatever, and that your music helped me out, or helped my mom out, or whatever.
Yeah, I do get really emotional. I'm an emotional mess most of the time. I'm right on the edge most of the time with everything. And because I'm a very emotional person and I'm very empathetic with people, it becomes difficult not to get emotional engaging with a listener who is having a very profound experience with the music.
Absolutely, man.
So it's difficult, but I think in this world, like we talked about right now, is all we have. When you're having an authentic interaction with someone, whether it's an artist and a listener, or it's just two people, you gotta give yourself to that. And if it makes you cry, if it makes you get emotional, let it go. That's why we're here. Get into that. Let yourself cry. Connect with that person. Be authentic. Because, like we said, we only have right now. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So why not dive in deep?
You go to, since I go to many concerts, people are on the phone recording every 20 seconds, half an hour. What are you doing that? You're paying good money to see a concert. Enjoy the moment. What are you doing? This stupid stuff.
And then you're going to go back and watch it on your phone, and you have this tiny fraction of what the experience was like.
That's right.
You were there in the ultimate surround sound.
That's right, yeah.
And not only that, you're experiencing pulsating music with thousands of other souls that are happy and positive. It's like live music creates like this vortex of energy of all these people getting emotional. It depends on the music. But to just be there in that experience and feel it, the memory and the experience of that is way more colorful.
Absolutely, man.
Than this tiny little movie. So I agree with you there.
Absolutely, man. I saw the 4 videos that you sent me.
Oh.
And they're very, very well done, very well put together. That's a beautiful piece of art, especially the bending toward the night.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free to elaborate I was blown away. How the stuff, who were doing those stuff? What's the process of making one? And it's
when I told you when I was making this album, I knew it was a big one. This was the big album, the grand opus, whatever. And if there was ever, I've hired people to do music videos before, but I knew that when we have an album that's got 8 anthems on it, I want to get some videos created. And I'm connected with some artists, and let's talk about Bending Towards the Night, because that got released yesterday or the day before.
The day before, I think.
The artist, his name is Forest Rain. And Forest Rain did a music video for a song called The Heart of Us from my last album, Rune, which was ambient guitar. So back in December, this album was finished and it was going off to mastering in New York. And I reached out to Forrest and I said, hey, I've got this new album coming out. Are you interested in a music video? And he said, yes, send me the whole album. So I sent him the whole album unmastered. And I said, you tell me what song it moves you that you want to make a video for. And of all the songs, he said, I want to do Bending Towards the Night. And I go, you realize it's the longest song on the album, right? It's 8.5 minutes. That's a lot of work. He said, I don't care. I love this song. This is what I want to do. And he said, what is this song about for you? And I said, well, when I think about this song, it starts off very sultry, sexy. It's alluring, it's mysterious, and then it becomes more exciting and interactive, and it builds and builds to a climax. And I said, it feels like, you know, two beings having intimacy or coming together. And I said, there's a lot of love in there, but I want you to do whatever you want. So he goes, okay, I have an idea. I'll get back to you. So he came back to me with a full storyboard of the whole video of this visitor going to this planet, and the planet is making the music and it's resonating with the music. And there's this being that's like a celestial being that's part of the planet and draws him in. And I was like, what? Wow. I said, go ahead. So he worked on that for like 4 months. And he would send me concepts and rough images, and I was just loving it all. So yeah, it's only been out for 48 hours and people are loving it. So that's cool.
For piece of art, man. You mentioned before that you don't no plan to play live. Why not? I mean, there are many kind of, you know, people that do it. Your stuff is not electronic, you know, but that why not play like a live gig, you know, every so often, once a month or whatever? Now?
That's a great question, and there's two challenges there for me. Number one, I have pretty serious stage fright. Being on stage, I don't know if I'm going to mess up, and I've been that way since I was really small. I'm not comfortable in large groups of people. I'm not good at public speaking. I just want to make records and be in here, you know. And so it's difficult to play live for me, but I've done it before, and it is really rewarding to have an audience immediately respond. But my kind of music, I'm either going to play with a large ensemble of artists to try to replicate all the stuff in the record, or I'm going to have to play to like backing tracks, synchronized, you know. And I don't know how I feel about, I think if I want to go witness someone perform live music, I like to see them playing the music, not just all the song is playing in the background and they're playing one instrument. So I think if I'm going to play live, especially the music of In, I would need, God, maybe 5 other people. And I think we can maybe make it happen. Be really nice to have a string octet behind us too. So, well, we would need the record label to fund a gig, a tour we could put together. And I would do that, but I would need some really good musicians and some months to practice, you know. So I'm not saying no, but I'd much rather just keep making records, you know.
And if it happens to be doing some live gigs and, you know, record that, maybe sell the CD or whatever, you know, it's
well, that would be definitely something would have to be done. If we had a really big ensemble to perform music from In, and we would want to record it and have, you know, 4K video and do like a concert Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we did it, I would want to really do it.
Yeah,
so
and it can be a good source of income. I mean, I see so many shows, you know, this every week or so and every year that, you know, people at the end of the show, whether it's a big name or big venue or famous people or up-and-coming artists, they can sell CD, they can sell T-shirt, a brochure. They like to take pictures with the guys like me, and at the end, you know.
I agree. I think performance,
a little bit of money to be made there as well.
No, there's a lot of money to be made for an artist like me who makes a record and then it's out there streaming. And this is also on vinyl, so I have a lot of people ordering the vinyl, a lot of people ordering double CD through the record label. That's one thing, but if I was to play live and get a lot of people to come to the shows, that income would be 10 times what the streaming income is. But it's like I said, it would take a significant amount of work to build an ensemble, to really perform this stuff live and have it really be huge, because this is a huge record. I want people to go to the show and have it sound 100 feet tall, you know? So it would take a considerable amount of work, but ambient music, instrumental electronic music is becoming very popular. Like, there are young people going to ambient gigs in LA, these ambient church gigs. Steve Roach is doing some amazing live performances. So maybe we're going into a place where people will start going to shows like this and having, you know, like in the 80s, we went to the Pink Floyd laser show.
That's right. Yeah.
In the theater, and everyone would go and smoke some weed and watch Pink Floyd and the lasers, and it was an experiential thing. So I think these new ambient concerts that are happening with projected visuals, and, you know, even if it's one guy with synthesizers, hundreds of people are going there and having like a 3-hour experience. I think I would really like to play a gig to people that appreciate that kind of experience.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned Steve Roach. He did a gig last night at
in New York,
in a church in New York.
Yeah,
you know, I wanted to see if somebody recorded that, because he's very good. Hopefully, I will be able to get a hold of him and an interview. It's another great musician in Northern California. I don't know if you know him, but Robert Rich.
Yeah, Robert Rich has worked with Steve Roach, and Robert Rich has been in connection with Spotted Peccary, the record label I'm on.
Right. It's when the guy that I mentioned that I was going to visit a guy in Monterey, I'm going to see his house. And then,
Robert Rich. He's really
a very nice person too, man.
Yeah, John Jenkins has spent time with him, and he talked to me. So Steve Roach is a really nice guy. Yeah. I played a concert for my first album, Between Green and Blue, and I opened for Steve Roach in a big, it's like a IMAX Dome theater, and we played a concert. Yeah. Steve Roach is a very nice guy, very prolific, but he's paving the way right now by doing these big ambient concerts. Yeah, and I think if he can keep doing this and inspire others, people like me, if I can get an ensemble together, I would love to do a live performance. But, you know, he's in Tucson. He's really connected with Spotted Peccary. So if you want to talk to Steve Roach, I'm sure he'd love to do an interview with you.
Yeah, I need to get a hold of the guy. I think I emailed him.
A really nice guy.
Really, yeah.
Email him and say, hey, I was talking to David Helpling, and he said you would do an interview with me, and see what he says.
Okay, I won't do that. If not, you can put an introduction. And
he's an amazing guy, and he's inspiring everyone in ambient electronic music. He's at the top, in my opinion.
He's very good, yeah.
And he's very kind, and, you know, he's never going to stop, and that's my kind of energy. So
absolutely, man. I think if you can agree with me, it's your best album you ever done. Is possible to top that?
That's a big question. I think now I'm moving into a space as a person, as a being, where all of the challenges and conflict that it took to create has taught me so much about myself and what to do and what not to do. I think I'm moving into a place where I could create big, beautiful, emotional music and not take so long to do it. So that said, I do believe that In is my best work. I think it's the big album. I don't know that I would attempt to make another double album like In ever, because it was exhausting. But the rewards that I'm seeing right now are amazing. I mean, their lives are changing, and it's only been 6 weeks. So every album I make from here on out, I'm going to put everything I have into it and make it sound like my dreams. And if people like that, cool. I'm never going to stop, but I don't know if I'm going to try to make something as big as In again. I might need some time to breathe a little bit. You know?
No only is an album that took, I don't know, 8 years to make or whatever, or it's a double album, but it's an emotional toll on you. I mean, you know, people, if you're doing pop, you're doing rock, you write great lyrics, you hire a bunch of great musicians, you rock, and you see, you can do an album in a year. But in your case, you need to go inside like you go inside your soul, man, and open up to the world with your emotion, frustration, you know, crazy parent you have, or great parent you ever have, or your friends, or you were bullied at school, and where you have a little bit of HTSD, autism, Asperger, whatever, and open up inside, and
You're
put something
exactly
to
right. It takes a lot for me.
yeah,
I know that everyone's different, but for me, the music is very personal.
absolutely,
The
man,
music is very solitary. It is created from myself, and I have to be very vulnerable to let the
absolutely,
music flow. So yeah, I think what you're talking about right now is at the core of why it took so long to finish,
yeah,
because it
yeah,
was overwhelming. It was not it was not only overwhelming technically, which it certainly was, but
yeah,
it was overwhelming emotionally. You know, you have one song like This Burning Sky, which
yeah,
is tragic, cinematic story that's very emotional, and it's got like 100 tracks of audio. Finishing that one was so hard. And I had already put in so much time. It had to be the best version of itself. So yeah, emotionally, it is really hard. Technically, it's really hard, but I did it, and I think it's my best work. And now everyone gets to experience everything I went through, you
absolutely,
know,
no,
in the
absolutely.
recording.
Looking back at your musical career, what moment are special to you? Any regret, anything that perhaps you would have done differently? Now you look back, it's very easy to connect the dot looking backwards. It's very difficult to put it connect the dot going forward, right? So, anything
Yeah.
you would have done differently, or
My gut reaction is no. As we talked about living in the moment and doing your best work, I think when I made the other records, those are a snapshot of where I was at the time as a person, emotionally, in my love life, as a father, in the United States, which is not always easy to watch the news. So all of that goes into each record. You know, you're influenced by so many things. So I don't know that I have any regrets, but every time I listen to one of my older records, I have grown so much as an engineer, and I've grown so much as a composer that I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have done that differently, or I should have used a different sound. I think every artist has that when they go back. They go, oh, I wish that I would have done this better. But we all have to pat yourself on the back and say, hey, back in 2003, that's where you were. You did a good job. It's okay. Now you're here. So I don't have any regrets at all. But of course, my technical mind would like to go back and make those records sound better. But that's not, not going to happen.
think about the following. Now you can tell your parents when they say, okay, give the music a try. If no, it doesn't work, you can always go back to school. You're 18 years old. Look at you now, man, where you are, man.
Crazy.
That's the best decision you ever made, man. Good
yeah. And it is weird to go back and think, because I graduated in 1987 from high school.
Yeah.
And that was the moment I decided to do music and not anything else. And here I am in 2022, full-time recording artist, composer, living in San Diego.
Yeah.
How did this happen? I don't even know. It's cosmic. Why am I so blessed? I don't know. But I'm super thankful to be here right now, today, and have a space where I can safely and comfortably express myself and make records. And I have a record label that wants to release my music. And I have people like you that want to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So I'm super stoked just to be here right now. Thankful every day.
And the last question I have, feel free to mention your website, what's coming up from you, where people can buy your music. And
yeah, well, my website is davidhelpling.com. And it's HELPLING. And there's only one David Helpling in the world, so it's easy on Spotify and everywhere. There's only one of me. If you go to David Helpling Official, that's my YouTube channel, where there's 4 music videos from In. And the last one, like we said, just premiered. So no more videos coming for this album that I know of. But that's a place to experience a lot of my music in visual form. Some of the videos are 4K. So if you can go big screen and turn up your subwoofer, you can have an experience. If you want to buy any of my music, especially on CD, double vinyl, or download the 2496 Studio Master, you can go to ambientelectronic.com. Ambientelectronic.com is the home of the record label, Spotted Peccary Music. And you could order the CD, the vinyl, downloads. You can request signature, whatever. You can find all my music there. if you stream music, wherever you stream music, I'm there. Go listen to it.
Good for you, man.
One thing we didn't talk about is my first album that has been completely mixed in Dolby Atmos surround. It was mixed from all the original stems by John Kellogg in Los Angeles. So if you go to Apple Music and you have an Atmos compatible theater, or you have an Atmos compatible soundbar, or the Apple AirPod Pro Atmos things, you can listen to the music, and it is not the same mix as the record at all. Completely different experience. And you could also have that spatial experience on a Tidal, Tidal, and Amazon. They all have the immersive mixes of the album also available. So first time I've done that, and I've sat in a theater and listened to it, and there's stuff moving, stuff everywhere. You really go inside the mix. It's really incredible. So
well, good question. We need to try that out, man. Yeah.
If you have any way to experience Atmos music, you can stream it from those three places, Apple, Tidal, and Amazon, and have that experience right now. So that's pretty cool.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man, it was very nice talking. More than an interview, it was a musical conversation about two guys never met before, via Zoom. Close to the sea, you're in San Diego. It was very nice talking to you, David, man. Keep on going. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's really nice to meet you. You're very kind. You're very inspired.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah.
My publicist, Beth, she said, you got to do an interview with this guy. I love his interviews, and now I see why.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
so it's very nice to meet you. And if you're in town, give me a shout.
We'll try to. I will send you an email. We'll try to make it happen in San Diego. And it's such a pleasure to me that at the beginning I was very concerned about my accent, or because I wasn't born in this country, people wouldn't understand my question. But it's getting better, and I'm kind of refining my craft, so to speak. And it's a very, very nice pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you. Be proud of your heritage. You're from Chile. That's huge. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And stay inspired. Keep going to all your concerts. Keep making your radio stations. Keep interviewing people. And thank you for sharing my music with all of your listeners. It's very, very cool. And I'm super grateful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy, man.
All right. Bye.